Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. So if you haven't already guessed by the thumbnail, today we are going to be ranking all of the palettes that I tried throughout the month of December. Now if you are new around here, in December I did like a 12 days of Christmas look, whereas leading up to the first 12 days of December I did a look with each of these palettes. And then I used these throughout the rest of December, and I think I used like one more. So there's 13 palettes here to rank today. If you are new around here, please don't forget to hit like, hit subscribe and turn that notification bell on so you don't miss any of my future great amazing videos. So as I said, 13 palettes in total to rank. These are actually really difficult getting to like the topper ones because I don't dislike any of these palettes. I chose them for a reason. As I said, there's only like one new one in my collection in the whole of these palettes because they're all just older ones that I thought were more Christmassy, and it was great to be able to dip into them again. Yeah, so 13 palettes that I actually struggled to rank. Coming in at number 13 is going to be the W7 Socialite palette. The only reason that this one's something had to rank last, it's okay and it blends nicely. It's just very samey. Like a lot of these shades are exactly the same and they don't pull any different. I think I've done like 2 or 3 looks with this palette now, and every single time it has been exactly the same. It's a very pretty palette and it's a very good value for money. There's nothing wrong with the palette, it's just the fact that, you know, it's just a bit samey. I think that this could have been condensed down a lot more. I understand why it's this size, and the way that it looks is because it's obviously a dupe for a Huda Beauty palette. But yeah, it's a nice palette and I did create some really nice looks with it last year, but it's just all the same, but good quality. Okay, coming in next at number 12 is going to be the Beauty Bay Dark Fantasy palette. I know this is probably going to, like, people are probably going to be, no, please don't put that on there. But yeah, I think the package is actually, like, 10 out of 10. I absolutely love the packaging. And it's just the colour story for me. There's nothing wrong with the mattes. There's nothing wrong with the shimmers. It does crease a little bit on me, but I'm not really overly bothered about that. It's just if it creases too bad. But yeah, I just don't find myself reaching for this palette a lot. I feel like it's just been kind of thrown together, and when I open it I just don't get any inspiration. It is in the title, it is dark. I just don't know, there's not like a lot of blended out shades. It's just very it's just very thrown together. I know you've got like a white up here which is great to blend out, but I don't know, like you have like such a nice variety of greens up here, but then like your purples, you've literally got like these two. As I said, the shimmers are okay. They're definitely like some of some are different quality, some are more opaque, some are more shimmery and sparkly. But yeah, it's okay. I don't find myself reaching for it, but you know, I'm not going to get rid of it or anything like that. I do like it. It's good quality. It's just that it had to come somewhere. Ranking in at number 11 is going to be probably another surprise to everybody. Just remember, this is my ranking video. Just because if I don't like something doesn't mean you don't have to dislike it or like it, whatever. It's going to be the Natasha Mini Glam, I think this one is. Yeah, the Mini Glam palette. So yeah, the only reason I wore this on Christmas Day. It's such a great palette to just pull out, and because it was Christmas Day I didn't have time to sit there for like 3 hours and create a look. So this was such a good palette to be able to just pull out, and that was it for 5 minutes, one bam, I'm done. And it looked okay, it looked nice, it was good for the day. It's just obviously it's the fact that it's just such a small neutral palette. The shimmers are okay, they're nothing like sparkly in your eye popping. It's glam, that's what it's for. But no, it's okay, it's nice and amazing quality. It is Natasha Denona, but it's just, I'm not really, if you can tell, a natural neutral person. Coming in at number 10 was the new palette to my collection last month, and it was the Star Wars palette from Colourpop. So I only own 2 palettes from Colourpop. We won't talk about the Hocus Pocus one. If you're new around here, I couldn't stand that palette, but I'm not going to wing on about it because, you know, other people will be like, she spoke about that one far too much. Again, this is like, I've done a couple of looks with this now, and it's okay, it's nice. The shimmers, they're okay. This one up here, I really don't like. It's literally like so putty like. It's really not. It's not my cup of tea. But no, I did a look with this obviously in my 12 days, and I did one red eye and I did one blue eye, and it was actually really fun. The shimmers are okay. They're nothing like amazing sparkly in your face, and it is definitely more of a neutral palette with a twist, and it's okay for a neutral look. I don't mind. I've done a couple of neutral looks with this. Again, way better quality than the Hocus Pocus one. It's just ranking that a little bit lower because it's not something that I'm probably going to reach for all the time. It's not really my colour story, but it's nice. It's nice. I definitely preferred, like, I think I preferred the blue over the red. It's nice. Coming in at number 9, I really hope I'm counting these correctly. Coming in at number 9, if you can hear me opening the packaging, you know what it is. It is a Mothership palette, and it is Mothership. I have no idea. I have no idea, but it's a Sublime one. So yeah, I do like this palette. I don't like the fact that there is only 2 mattes in here, and the 2 mattes fall very dark on my skin tone. You do have to go in with a very light hand, and when I say light, I mean immensely light. You can get it to work. These 3 shades here are absolutely stunning, but this one is just like very like bitty and crumbly. It's not really my favorite, like, Pat McGrath formula from her. No, this is one of her earlier ones, so I know some people say that they loved like the baked ones, which I do. I really like the baked formula. But her recent palettes compared to like her older ones now, I've definitely, because I bought one, I can definitely compare them, and it's just not one of my favourites. Every look that I get is very dark. The quality is 10 out of 10. It's Pat McGrath and you pay for what you get. It's just not a colour story that I find myself reaching for all of the time, which is a shame, but you know, again, it is Pat McGrath, and I do love it. Coming in at number 8, am I counting these correctly? I should have probably labelled them. Make sure that doesn't fall. Coming in at number 8 is a palette that I've had for some time now. I think I've had this palette for 2 years. And yeah, I created a wintry kind of look with this, I would say. This is the Mercury Retrograde Huda Beauty one. Yeah, and I did a really nice purpley bluey look, I think, with this one. It was something different, which some people probably wouldn't think that this was like a wintertime palette or a Christmas time palette. But I think what I created was something different and not your everyday Christmas wear, which was kind of why I pulled this palette in. It's not with your blues and your pops of purples, and even like your more purpley tones. Like, I think you can definitely make this like a really nice Christmas palette, and that is why I pulled it in. I do love this colour story. I've loved this colour story for such a long time. This has been one of my favourite palettes for such a long time. And like the shimmers down here are insane. It's Huda Beauty, and I love it. I love it. Coming up next might be a bit of a shock to everybody, because this one ranks, you know, middle of the table on my 44 palette ranking. So yeah, this is the Huda Beauty Empowered. So this is creeping back up and getting like more and more popular in my collection. I really didn't like this when I first had it. I didn't like it. I think the formula is amazing. I still disagree with having 2 gold shades, but I did a look with this New Year's Eve, and I also did my Christmas look, and my New Year's Eve look was, honestly, it was one of my favourite looks of the year. It was really pretty. I really enjoyed it. The only reason that it's not ranking higher is just because, like, I do still agree that some of these shades do pull a little bit similar on the eyes. I'm never going to reach for these cream shades. The golds are, again, very similar. Yeah, and I wish there'd have been, like, maybe more variety with the shimmers. Like, these two are very similar. You see, this one's different, and I don't really like these marbly ones. But yeah, I just wish like the shimmers had a little bit more variety. I feel like you could have put like more of like an orangey shimmer, maybe not an orangey shimmer, but a lighter shimmer over here, like to mix this up a little bit. It's just my personal opinion, but overall this palette has definitely crept up to be, you know, more of a favourite than I thought that it was going to be. I've lost track now. Let's just count these a second. So coming in at 6th place is going to be another mothership. There are a couple other motherships coming in as well. This one, again, I really like this one. So this is Divine Rose 2. This duochrome, multichrome, whatever chrome is beautiful. That pink to green, there we go, you can see it now. It is stunning, so beautiful, and it's one of those baked formulas again. But again, there was only 2 mattes because this is one of her earlier ones. But I don't mind so much in this one. I don't really tend to reach for this like yellowy gold up here. And you kind of have like a pinky gold, so there's, you know, it should have been more variety. I think with the shimmers, I get that this is like more a predominantly pinkier palette, but it is stunning. It is really nice, and I have used that multi-chrome, dual chrome, whatever chrome, but this one down here is just not as bitty as... It's just not going to show up now, is my lights are just too reflective at the moment. Yeah, so it's just the fact that this one is more of a baked formula than the Sublime one, which was more like crumbly. I'm not too sure why. I don't know if mine's a dud. Probably is. Coming in at number 5, I know that I said obviously my first palette was last because it only created one look, and this palette is exactly the same, but that look that it creates every single time blows my mind. It really does. And it is the Patrick Tart Major Dimensions 2. I'm going to try not to blind you. There we go. And here is the colour story. I have had an accident with mine over here. I don't use these cream shades, they're absolutely pointless, and this is a rose tone palette, but oh my god, it is beautiful. It is stunning. You can wear this every single day if you wanted to. You can vamp it up so it just looks amazing. I wore this to a wedding last year, sorry. Yeah, I absolutely love the looks that I've always created with this palette. I think I did like a more neutral, just everyday friendly look with this palette, and honestly it's stunning. The shimmers are so sparkly, and the mattes are just super blendable, super easy. It's a really good rose tone palette in my personal opinion. Okay, getting now to the top 4. Yeah, so coming in at number 4 was a surprise one to me. Actually, this one is a new one. I'm sorry, I'm so stupid. It's because I had it lingering around for ages, and then obviously it was the advent calendar. I had to open it, so yeah, it was a new one to my collection. And this really surprised me. So this is the outer packaging. Everyone should have opened theirs by now. So I was expecting like blues and purples and really icy vibes and stuff. And that's what I got. So I was very disappointed. When I was opening them day by day, I was like, this is not me. Like, this does not match the packaging. Then I tried it, and oh my god, these mattes are so soft and so buttery and so smooth and so blendable. The shimmers, some of them look the same. Trust me, on the eye, they are so different, so sparkly. I took this on my mini break to Cornwall with me, and it's the only palette that I took, and I absolutely loved it. Honestly, it is a stunning palette. It's the first time that I've ever tried Lunar Beauty. I'm really hoping that he does another one of these again this year, because honestly, this was incredible. I just hope that it matches the packaging next year. But this is 10 out of 10. I think next release that Manny does, I am tempted to purchase it, because this quality was amazing. It was amazing, absolutely amazing. Like, these palettes right now are just out of this world. Hard to, you know, just hard to judge. Coming in at number 3 is another mothership, and it is going to be probably my most used mothership, I think, just because it's the first one that I ever owned. And this is Bronze Seduction. It's no point showing the packaging. This is Bronze Seduction. As you can tell, mine is now absolutely battered. I don't tend to like reach for this shade. It's just not for me. This shade seems to have hard panned, even though I've very rarely used it. I like all the mattes in here. There are 3 and a light enough one that I can get away with as a transition shade, and then I can definitely blend it out. Yeah, but I love, again, I love the shimmers. Is it going to pick up? Kind of. So down here, that also goes to like a green. Beautiful. This again is kind of like that crumbly one, but it's just not as crumbly as the Sublime one. Yeah, I do genuinely love this palette. I tend not to reach for any of these 3 shimmers. I don't really like how they look on my eye, but the rest of the palette is stunning. 10 out of 10. Was my favourite one when I bought it. And then one picked the post, and I absolutely love this palette. So this is coming in at number 2. And you should be able to guess what it is, because it was ranked very highly on my 44 palette. If you haven't watched that, please go ahead and check it out. And it is the Pat McGrath Moonlit, when I can open it, Moonlit Seduction. There is not a single shadow in here that I do not love. I don't mind people complaining about these two being too similar, or the fact that they're like pinky and you have those shades in other palettes. Because I only own like 1, 2, 3, 5 of them out of the 10, I don't mind those those being in here. This one I can get away with using as an inner corner. I love this kind of like gunmetal. It's just so nice. And of course, the star of the show is this beautiful, let me just swatch it because I just can't help myself, when it comes to this shade. It's just wet looking. It's amazing. Oh, it's so beautiful, sparkly. It's everything. I absolutely flipping love this palette. Yeah, if you watch my 44, you will know where that ranked. Yeah, definitely it will be hard to beat that this year, I think, unless Mother comes out with something amazing. I don't think Mother will be able to beat that for me, but we will see. Coming in at number 1, I couldn't decide. So these are 2 palettes that are unfortunately now discontinued, and the only reason that they've beaten Moonlit Seduction is not due to formula or quality or anything like that. It's just the variety, and it is going to be the Christmas palettes. Now, I know this one didn't rank as high in my rankings of the year just because it does crease. I don't know why this one doesn't and this one does, but then I paired these 2 together when I did my 12 looks of Christmas, and I did get a beautiful, well, I think, a beautiful look just using like literally like 2 shades. I think I used the black from this palette and the silver from this palette. I want to use that grey as well to like blend it out with. It's also looks like it's had a little bit of an accident. These palettes are beautiful, so I want to take back that I'm not really inspired by this palette. I really want to take that back because I am definitely looking at this palette a lot more recently and like, oh my god, I want to create that look. Oh my god, I want to do that look. Yeah, I felt really uninspired. I think it was just because, I don't know, because I'm a bit of a sucker for blues anyway, so I think that was what was kind of putting me off. When I held them together, I was just like, I just love this one, absolutely love it. I'm so uninspired by this. But then when I look at them and I look at them separately, they are both stunning, amazing quality. Yeah, so I definitely want to create some more looks with this, and hopefully it won't crease on me. I don't know, hopefully I'll get something to work. But yeah, this one is the, oh my god, I didn't have my eye out. This one is the Christmas Eve one, and this one is the Merry Christmas one. Again, I do apologise if you weren't able to get hold of these. I'm hoping that they do something similar again this year, whether they do like another Christmas theme. That would be really cool. Who knows, they might even bring them back out, but they did say they were limited edition, and I know some people are a bit funny like that, and they're like, you said they were limited edition and you've rebought them back out, a lie. And so I feel like they might not bring them back out for that purpose. But yeah, that was all of the palettes that I used in December. I really hope that you like. I love to rank the palettes I've tried. And if you're wondering about this eye look, by the way, is the Carnival Be Perfect? That video should already be up by now, so definitely go ahead and check that out. So definitely have some thoughts on that. And I will see you all in the next one. Bye.